In a forgotten corner of Africa, where the sun painted the earth with gold and the wind carried the smell of clay and mangoes, there lived a girl with eyes too big for the world she was born into. Her name was Amma. She had no shoes, no toys, no books. But her heart beat with something richer than gold, the desire to learn. Amma lived in a small village where goats wandered freely, children played with sticks, and the nearest school was a long walk away. Too far, too expensive, and too impossible for a girl like her. But dreams don't ask for permission. They just exist. Each morning, Amma swept the yard with a handmade broom. She helped her mother fetch water from the well and carried firewood on her head with quiet grace. But every afternoon when the village rested under the shade of old trees, Amma would walk to the edge of the road. There, behind the tall grass, she'd sit and wait. She waited for the city cars. Once a week, sometimes less, a vehicle would come. Shiny, clean, loud, and filled with people from the city. Their clothes smelled of soap and books. Their voices were filled with words Amma couldn't understand, and not yet. She watched them. Every time, Amma didn't want their food. She didn't envy their phones or dresses. She wanted what they carried in their hands: notebooks, pens, stories. She would draw letters in the sand, mimicking the shape she once saw in a newspaper someone threw away. She had memorized the alphabet from a candy wrapper. Her younger brother laughed at her. Her neighbors called her strange. But Amma didn't stop. Because hope once planted grows even in the dry season. One day, a black SUV arrived in the village. It was bigger than any vehicle Amma had ever seen. Out stepped a man in a white shirt, sunglasses, and quiet confidence. His name was Mr. Kofi, a businessman from Accra visiting the rural villages for a charity foundation. He wasn't alone. With him came his wife, his daughter, and 2 assistants carrying bags of supplies. Amma watched from behind a tree. But when the little city girl dropped her scarf into the mud, Amma didn't hesitate. She picked it up, cleaned it gently with her skirt, and returned it with her eyes down. Mr. Kofi noticed. "What's your name?" he asked. Amma didn't answer. She looked at her toes. "Do you go to school?" She shook her head. A whisper left her lips, barely audible. "I want to." That was it. That's all she said. But sometimes a single sentence can change everything. The next morning, Mr. Kofi came back. This time alone. He brought a backpack, new sandals, and 3 books. One of them had pictures. One was a children's dictionary. And the last one, a beginner's English guide. He sat with Amma under the big mango tree. He pointed to the word apple. Amma said, "Apple." He smiled. She blushed. And a door began to open. Mr. Kofi visited her parents that evening. He offered to sponsor Amma's education, pay her fees, buy her uniform, arrange her stay with a family near the town school. Her father hesitated. "We need her here. She helps." But her mother looked into Amma's eyes, and she saw what she once had, a dream long buried under dishes and duty. "Let her go," she said. And with that, Amma's life took a turn. Amma arrived at the town school in a blue uniform, her braids freshly done and her eyes filled with hope. But the classroom was a new world. Fast English, clean chalkboards, confident voices, and laughter that didn't include her. She felt alone. She sat in the back, listened, tried to speak but stumbled. They called her village girl. She cried at night. But every morning she showed up again. Because she remembered the promise in Mr. Kofi's eyes, and she remembered the word she had learned, apple. Amma's first test was a disaster, but her second was better. Her teacher, Ms. Grace, noticed the fire in her. She began to help, gave her extra lessons after class, gave her kindness instead of pity. Amma soaked it in like dry land in the first rain. Soon, Amma could read full paragraphs. She began to answer questions. Her voice grew stronger. And then one day, she won a spelling bee. The girl they once mocked was now the girl they clapped for. Then came the phone call. Her father had fallen ill. Work had stopped. Money was gone. The sponsor program had ended. Amma was told she might have to return home. She sat outside the dormitory that night looking at the stars. The same stars she had watched from her village. She felt like the dream was slipping. But then, Mr. Kofi returned. He hadn't forgotten. He said, "Amma, I don't invest in students. I invest in stories, and your story isn't done." Years passed. Amma finished school. She got a scholarship to the university. She studied education. And on the day she received her diploma, she didn't cry for herself. She cried for the girl who once drew letters in dust. She returned to her village, not in a dusty dress, but in a bright skirt and a teacher's bag. She built a school under the same mango tree. And there she taught children how to write their names, just like she once dreamed. She used to watch the educated. Now she raises them. She used to wish for words. Now she gives them freely. Her name is Amma, and this is her story.